So the Second Circuit Court of Appeals just granted a stay in the Antioch case, which challenges the state of New York's new concealed carry laws, which were passed in direct defiance of the Supreme Court's recent ruling in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruen. So let's talk about this. Also, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, which is JX Tactical. JX Tactical has some awesome holsters. I've been using one of their holsters for my EDC, for my Glock 26. Super comfortable. I carry appendix. I'm pretty picky about my holsters, but I really do like that holster, and I use it almost every other day for my Glock 26 EDC when I'm not carrying my Glock 43. Another cool thing about their holsters is that they're made in the US and they come standard with an optics cut. So if you're interested, check out JX Tactical, and thank you again, JX Tactical, for sponsoring this video. How's it going, everyone? My name is Anthony Miranda. I am a licensed practicing attorney in the state of California with an emphasis on Second Amendment rights. I've been part of Second Amendment litigation both at a state level and a national level, while serving as a staff attorney with the Firearms Policy Coalition legal team. In this video, I'm just going to give you a quick update on the Antioch v. Hochul case, which is a challenge to the state of New York's new CCIA law, the Concealed Carry Improvement Act law, which is the new concealed carry law in the state of New York, which was passed in direct defiance of the Supreme Court's recent ruling in Bruen. I'm gonna make this video really fast and down and dirty mainly because I'm sick. I recently got back from the USCCA Expo. Thank you to everybody I met out there, but one of the bad things about going to the expos is you meet a ton of people, you talk to a lot of people, you shake a lot of hands, and ultimately what ends up happening is you get sick. So right now, as you can hear, I got a pretty bad cough, and sometimes it's hard for me to talk. It's hard for me to kind of get full sentences out right now without having to cough. So I just wanted to make a quick video and update you guys on the New York concealed carry law, because I know I have a lot of viewers in New York and you have questions about what's currently going on with the New York concealed carry laws and the challenge to those laws. The update I have for you is that the state of New York was in fact granted their stay from the Second Circuit. The Second Circuit Court of Appeals granted a stay on the granting of the preliminary injunction. If you don't recall, you can go back and watch one of my prior videos. I will link it down below. But Judge Sotheby, in this case, the district court judge, granted a preliminary injunction in favor of the plaintiffs in this case. And through that preliminary injunction, he enjoined various aspects of the CCIA. In that ruling, he found that the good moral character standard was in fact invalid. And one of the primary reasons was because he stated that under Bruen, the Supreme Court endorsed a standard that compels a state to issue a carry license, essentially unless the licensing officer finds that the applicant is a danger to themselves or to someone else. And therefore, he pointed out that the good moral character standard was similar in nature to the proper cause standard that was just struck down by the Supreme Court, and therefore he enjoined it. He enjoined the general ban on concealed carry in public places and in public businesses without you having to get permission or them having to put a sign out. So he enjoined that aspect as well. There were some parts he left in place, including the 4 character references, I believe, and then some of the public park areas, and then also some of the training requirements as well. He left those in place. So there was kind of a hodgepodge of things that he did in that preliminary injunction. But the general takeaway from the injunction was that he did in fact enjoin a lot of the aspects of the CCIA. Obviously, the state of New York did not like that, so they are seeking an appeal up to the Second Circuit. And in the interim of seeking that appeal, they also sought a temporary stay from the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. And the update is that the Second Circuit Court of Appeals has in fact granted a temporary stay. What this means is that the preliminary injunction that Judge Sotheby granted, which went into effect immediately, is now stayed. And it stayed until the Second Circuit Court of Appeals decides whether or not they want to take up the Antioch case or not. The likelihood is that the Second Circuit will in fact take up that case. They often will take up the case. They're just granting a temporary stay right now. They're likely going to grant the appeal and then issue a more permanent stay and preventing that preliminary injunction, which Judge Sotheby granted, from going into effect and remaining in effect. So that's kind of where it stands right now. One of the interesting things with all this is that usually to get a temporary stay or even to get an emergency, usually the state is arguing that they need something immediately because of all the harms that will happen to the public. But the Judge Sotheby preliminary injunction went in effect immediately, and we didn't see a whole lot of crime happen in New York. In fact, nothing really changed. But still, the Second Circuit Court of Appeals is granting the temporary stay, has granted that temporary stay, and now they will decide whether or not they're going to take this case up on appeal, which, again, my anticipation is that they will. Ultimately, I think the Second Circuit will review this case, whether or not they decide in favor of the plaintiffs or the state of New York. Ultimately, I think this is one of those cases that's going to find its way back up to the Supreme Court. And again, the Supreme Court's going to have to likely address the state of New York and their defiance of the Supreme Court's prior ruling in Bruen, prior rulings in Heller. The state of New York is likely going to be the example of always defying the Supreme Court. They're always going to have those cases going back up to the Supreme Court because they keep trying to pass laws, even after the Supreme Court says prior that no, what they did was unlawful under the proper cause standard. They said the proper cause standard was unconstitutional. So the state of New York said, okay, we understand. We're just going to change that into a good moral character standard and make our laws even worse than the ones that existed prior to Bruen. So it's going to be a long haul case. It's going to be something that's going to develop over time. But right now, this case is now going to be up to the Second Circuit to determine. That is now where the case is going to happen. So like I said, just quick video because my voice is shot and I'm coughing all over the place. If you guys like this video and like support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is to like, comment, and subscribe. All those things help to fuel the algorithm or fuel Al Gore's rhythm. It adds fuel to his jet and signals to YouTube that you guys see value in these videos and in this type of two-way news. Again, I want to thank everybody who likes, comments, subscribes, who hits the notification bell, who shares these videos. You guys are directly impacting these videos, impacting this channel, and helping me to reach and educate more people than I could ever do on my own. So as always, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And never forget, this nation was built by armed scholars, and this nation will be maintained by armed scholars.